Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, you know that the Washington Commanders are riding high after their unexpected but impressive run to the NFC Championship game last season. That kind of playoff appearance sends a clear message. The team is on the rise, and the front office is not resting on its laurels. They are actively trying to build a team capable of not just making the playoffs, but going all the way. And that's what makes this offseason so intriguing for Washington fans. The front office has been aggressive in upgrading the roster, making moves that signal their true intentions, contending for a Super Bowl sooner rather than later. But as always, even with a team that's looking strong on paper, there are gaps, holes that need filling to truly push them over the edge. One of the most talked about areas right now is the safety position. It's no secret that this is a crucial spot on any team's defense, especially when you're eyeing a deep playoff run or a championship. Last season, the Commanders had Jeremy Chin, who was a reliable presence in the secondary. Unfortunately, he's now gone, having signed with the Las Vegas Raiders during free agency. That departure has left a noticeable void, and the team is actively looking for someone who can step in and fill that role with consistency and impact. And here's where things get really interesting. The front office has been closely linked to one of the most prominent free agents on the market, Justin Simmons, the veteran safety from the Denver Broncos. Simmons is a name that commands attention, not just because of his talent, but because of his experience, leadership, and proven ability to make game-changing plays. He's a player who has established himself as one of the league's best safeties over the years, earning 4 All-Pro second-team selections and 2 Pro Bowl nods during his tenure with the Broncos. Simmons isn't just a player, he's a leader on the field, someone who can organize the secondary and provide stability for the entire defense. Now, Simmons' career with the Broncos was nothing short of stellar. For 8 seasons, he was a staple in their secondary, known for his intelligence, athleticism, and ability to read the game. He's the kind of safety who can cover deep, support the run, and come up with big plays when the team needs them most. His presence was vital for Denver, especially during their playoff runs and in crucial games. But as we all know in the NFL, change is constant. After the 2023 season, the Broncos decided to move on from Simmons, making him a free agent. It was a surprising move for many, considering his reputation and production, but it opened doors for other teams to try and land such a proven veteran. In the meantime, Simmons signed a 1-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons, hoping to bring his experience to a new team. However, last season with Atlanta was a bit of a mixed bag. Sure, he played all 16 games, which speaks to his durability, but his impact was not quite the same as in Denver. He finished the year with 62 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 7 pass breakups. While those numbers are solid, they didn't quite reach the level of dominance we've seen from him in the past. It's fair to say that Simmons didn't fit seamlessly into the Falcons' defensive scheme, and that's led many to speculate that he might be on the move again. And that's exactly what makes this situation so compelling for Washington fans. Justin Simmons himself has made it clear that he's interested in playing for a team that's in playoff contention. During an interview with Sean Keeler of the Denver Post, Simmons stated that if he had to choose again last year, he would pick Atlanta. But now, as he looks ahead to the next chapter of his career, his focus is firmly on winning now. He's openly expressed that his priority is to join a team that has a real shot at the playoffs and hopefully a Super Bowl. That kind of mindset makes him a perfect target for a team like Washington, which is on the cusp of greatness, but still needs that final piece or two to truly compete at the highest level. So, what does this mean for the Commanders? Well, the safety position has been a bit of a question mark since Jeremy Chin's departure. Quan Martin, the rookie last season, showed flashes of promise, but he's still largely unproven as a full-time starter. Will Harris, who was signed last offseason for $8 million on a 2-year deal, has had his moments, but hasn't yet established himself as a consistent starter. The team needs someone with Simmons' experience, someone who can step in immediately and provide leadership and stability in the secondary. While Simmons is getting older, he's in his late 20s, approaching 30, his play still holds value, and the Commanders could likely bring him in on a one-year deal. That's often the best move for teams in his situation, adding a veteran presence for a playoff push without committing to long-term financial obligations. It's a win-win situation. Simmons gets a chance to chase a championship before hanging up his cleats, and Washington gets a proven leader to help anchor their secondary. But let's not forget the bigger picture here. The Commanders' defense has been improving steadily under their current coaching staff, and adding a player like Simmons could be the final piece to their puzzle. Their front seven is solid, led by young stars and established veterans, but the secondary is the question mark. Having Simmons in the fold could elevate the entire defense, allowing the pass rush to get more pressure and the linebackers to play more aggressively, knowing they have a reliable safety back there in case of breakdowns. Of course, there are other factors to consider: contract details, salary cap implications, and team chemistry. But knowing how much Simmons values winning and playoff success, it's reasonable to believe that Washington has a real shot at landing him if they make their case compelling enough. Plus, with the team's recent draft picks and offseason acquisitions, they're positioning themselves as serious contenders. Now, the NFC East itself is a fascinating division to watch this season. The Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, and New York Giants are all loaded with talent, and every single game against these rivals will be crucial. If Washington can add a player like Simmons, it would send a strong message to their division foes. We're here to compete for the title, and we're not backing down. It's about creating a winning culture that can sustain success over multiple seasons, and adding a veteran safety could be the move that pushes them over the top. Looking at the bigger picture, the NFL landscape is constantly shifting, and teams that make smart, strategic moves in free agency often find themselves with a competitive edge. Washington's front office has shown a willingness to be aggressive, and bringing in someone like Simmons would be consistent with that philosophy. It's a move that could pay dividends not just this season, but for years to come, especially if he helps mentor the younger players on the roster and elevates the overall defensive performance. And let's not forget the fan excitement that surrounds this kind of move. Washington supporters are eager to see their team take that next step, and the possibility of landing a player of Simmons's caliber fuels hopes and dreams of deep playoff runs and even a Super Bowl victory. It's these kinds of strategic signings that can define a franchise's trajectory, making the difference between good and great. So, what's next? Well, the buzz around Justin Simmons is only going to intensify as the offseason progresses. Teams will be making their pitches, and players will be weighing their options. The Commanders are in a prime position to make a serious push, especially if they can get Simmons on a short-term deal that fits their salary cap. It's all about timing, negotiation, and showing Simmons that Washington is committed to winning now and in the future. In the end, this potential signing represents more than just adding another player to the roster. It's about signaling to the entire league that the Commanders are serious contenders. They're not content with just making the playoffs. They want to dominate the NFC East, challenge the best teams in the NFC, and ultimately chase that elusive Super Bowl title. Whether or not Simmons becomes a Commander, the fact that his name is even in the conversation highlights how far this team has come and how much more they're capable of achieving. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this situation? Do you believe Simmons is the perfect fit for this team? Would you like to see him in burgundy and gold next season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of this team. Remember, this is just the beginning of what promises to be an exciting journey. I'll be back soon with more updates, deeper insights, and all the latest news about the Washington Commanders. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep dreaming big together.